Alright, so in today's video, I am going to be giving you guys the only 10 tips that you need to improve and hit champion or whatever rank that you want to hit. So I'll have 4 pre-game tips, 4 in-game tips, and 2 outside of the game tips. So essentially, I'm going to cover every single category that you can think of, and this is only 10 tips that you need. But what I want to do is I want to use this video's comment section as a way for me to go to and get tips to make into future videos. So if you struggle with anything I miss, or anything more specific, comment it down below and I'll put it in a future video. Just make sure you leave it in the comments, like other people's comments so I know which one you really want me to cover, whatever it may be. But hopefully you guys do enjoy this video. Be sure to leave a like, be sure to comment, and be sure to subscribe. We're on the grind to 50k. But let's get into it. Also, real quick, I just want to say, although I'm on console for this video, if you're a PC viewer, you could still watch this because a lot of these tips are going to help you. This video is not going to be all controller tips. It's going to be a lot of tips in general. So if you're a PC viewer, do not click off. Trust me, there is a lot of tips that you can do. I play PC as well. So the first tip that we're going to get into is going to be in the shooting range. And don't worry, this whole video is not going to be in the shooting range. Just the first pre-game 4 tips that I think that you should look at are going to be in the shooting range and, you know, just around this type of stuff. So the first thing I want to get into is going to be warm-up. So you see me in the shooting range right now, right? Now, if I'm going to warm-up, which one? Let me make sure I make it very clear. I would recommend that you do. So a warm-up, even if you feel like you are good, at least do a T-hunt or 2. I personally enjoy doing a T-hunt or a TDM. Or if I want to, what I'll do is I'll come here and I'll just shoot at this target and, you know, move left and right and make sure my aim is feeling solid. Make sure my recoil control is feeling solid. I'm going to get into all that as well for tips. But the quickest tip, and I'm going to give you a quick one, just make sure you warm up. I promise you, it's going to help you a lot. And like I said, my routine, 2 T-hunts, 1 TDM, normally. If I can't do a TDM, just 2 T-hunts. Just make sure you do them. They're going to help you a lot. They'll build confidence, they'll help your aim, help the, you know, just get the movement going down. Whether you're on PC or console, it'll help. Now the next tip for aim. Let me break this down for you, okay? Aim is something that, whether you're on PC or console, you need it, obviously, right? And the best way to warm up, if you're on PC, you can go do like an aim labs thing, but if you're on console, you can't really do much. So if you want to do this on PC as well, you can do this, but what I do whenever I need to get my aim better, okay? When you think about aim, there's 2 things that I think of before that, and that's really sense and recoil. And we're going to get into those as well, so don't worry. What you're going to do is, if your aim is bad, if you feel like your aim is all over the place, come to the shooting range and start strafing. Start strafe shooting. This is going to help you understand the recoil and understand the you know, your sensitivity. So what I mean by this is you come here, you shoot right, clear it, and you walk left and right. And what you do is you follow the dummy with your crosshair. This would be strafing. You're gonna get into a lot of gunfights like this where you're gonna be walking and you're gonna be shooting. But what this will do is will help you understand how to essentially like know the micro movements of your sensitivity. You got to understand how much to move your stick or how much to use your mouse if you're playing on PC, but this will help you a ton. And what you do is you start up close and you just go left and right, right? And then let's say you want to go up further, you back up after your aim is better, and you just go left and right, and you just keep following it, and you go back and forth. You have unlimited ammo in the shooting range, which is why this is great. And you keep doing this. And the more you do this, the more you understand your sensitivity, the more you understand your recoil at further ranges. You can play with anyone, so it's very quick, very fast. There's no timer. So this is what I would do for aim. Literally come to the shooting range and just practice. It's going to take time. It's not something like you watch this one video, you do this once, and you're set. No, you got to practice this. Another good tip is going to TDM. TDM is very good as well. But this is like a direct way to practice your aim. Even try like flicking onto somebody like this. Like, see how I'm like flicking? Just try flicking. Like, look one spot and then flick. This is me doing it with the controller, by the way. Okay. And real quick, for people who do play controller, this is what my controller looks like. It's an elite controller. I have 4 paddles on the back. Let me show you this. I have 4 paddles on the back. Look at this great, beautiful controller. I lean with my top left and right. I crouch with my bottom left, and I vault with my bottom right. Look at this beautiful controller. This is what I use. Just want to make very clear so that way you guys know. Also, on the analog stick, I use aggressive. On the right analog stick, everything else is default. Even the stick tension is default. Everything. Alright, so aim does take a lot of time to get used to, but the next thing that's going to help your aim a lot is going to be sensitivity. Now, let me show you this. I've done so many Sens videos. I'm sure you guys have seen on my channel if you are an avid Royal Penguin viewer. You have seen all the Sens videos that I have done, right? And this is what people don't understand. So whether you're on PC or you're on console, the best way to find a comfortable sense is going to be to stick to one. If you change your sensitivity all the time, you are never going to get good on the sensitivity, okay? You guys see me. I go in and I use somebody's sensitivity. And what you'll notice is the first 2 rounds of the video, I'm normally cheeks. I'm looking horrible. Like, it actually looks like somebody let an actual vegetable play the game. Like, it looked terrible. Like, but as I keep playing, I get better. And that's kind of a great example of what it would be like with you. Instead of a quick difference for me, it's going to be a long-term difference. So you see my sense right here, 35, 65, right? My ADS is 40, 40. It's normally 42, 44, 46. I don't know why it's different right here. But that's normally my senses, right? I have used generally the same sensitivity for a very long time. Like years. Like, it was only recently that I lowered mine from 75 to 60, but everything else stayed the same. If you're going to change your sensitivity, you just need to change it a very little bit. Change it by 10 at most, and practice on it. But you want, and if you feel like, I don't know what sense to use right now, look at the sensitivity you're using right now. If your recoil is all over the place, you probably need to lower your horizontal and your ADS. Lower by 5 to 10. Okay, if your recoil is all over the place. Okay. But I would just recommend, after you do that, stick to a sense. You're not going to be perfect. So then what you do, after you pick your sensitivity, is you come and you do this. You get used to the sensitivity. Strafe left and right. Understand your sensitivity. Understand your ADS by strafing left and right. And you're going to be ass at first. I promise you, you're not going to be him. You're going to literally look horrid. But the more you do this, the more you're going to adjust to the sensitivity. And the more you play on it, you're going to adjust. So the moral of the story is stick to a sensitivity. All right, now the next biggest tip is people always ask me about recoil control and how do you get it down. And essentially, recoil is going to come down to a few things. I'm going to show you the right attachments you should use for recoil, and I'm going to show you what you should do to practice. Once again, we'll be back here shooting at the dummy. If you want no recoil, what are you going to do? Let me explain. When it comes to attachments, you are going to use a compensator on most guns. I feel like compensator is the best on most guns because pulling down is very easy. But it's a lot harder compensating for the horizontal recoil. Anybody can pull down. I feel like it's very easy to learn. But the thing that's very hard is when you have to pull down and also compensate for the left and right stick as well, or your mouse swiping left and right. So compensator is going to be your best bet on most guns. Unless like the F2, I'd recommend using a flash hider because that's more for vertical recoil. And that thing doesn't even have a grip. So personally, I would recommend using a flash hider on the F2. But most guns did compensator. Now, if you're somebody who has very good recoil control, use the extended barrel. Because the extended barrel will increase your damage on the gun. Okay? It's very simple. Compensator for people who need the recoil. And there's no problem with needing the recoil. I still use compensator on the P90 because it's a 50 bullet gun, and I enjoy being able to spray and look like a laser while I'm spraying. I still use it on most guns. But if I can use an extended barrel, I'm going to. Might as well increase the damage. I'll just get better on the sensitivity and on the recoil. Then it just comes down to you practicing the shooting range and shooting at it, or going and doing a TDM. TDM, once again, the biggest thing that you can do is do a TDM. You get no recoil. Even with extended barrel, my recoil is little. But I'm also on a T5 right now, so that's why. Alright, so now moving on to our second half of the tips, which are going to be the in-game tips. I want to give you a great example of what positioning is. Positioning is very hard to cover very quickly, but I'm going to try my best to cover it very quickly. This would be a champion setup for Cash Room CCTV, okay? Now, when you think about positioning, I want you to think of essentially making sure whenever you are watching, you are safe from the rest of your surroundings or you have a game plan, right? So if you're going to evaluate where you are, you want to ask yourself, can you be naded? Can you be shot? Can you be seen? Okay, those are the best things that you want to think of if you're positioning, if you're holding something, right? So if I'm sitting in here and I'm watching this, yes, I can be naded from below. So I want to make sure that, I know or I think if people are below me, just be cautious of that, right? For example, another great way that you could think about positioning is if I am holding top red stairs, very common spot, would I want to hold this right here? No, because look, I could be shot from this window. Would I want to back up a little bit and hold it right here? No, because I can be naded or shot through this drone hole. So this would be the best spot back here. Would it be the best spot to hold it back here? This is a much better spot. However, this is a very common spot that you can get pre-fired. So you have two options. Think to yourself, okay, well, I can't be, naded from here because this is like this, right? So what you'll tend to want to do is if nobody is down here, like a lot of times you have people roaming down here because they might want to C4, or then, you might have like a Jaeger roaming down here. The best spot would be to come here. Or if they're both in garage or they're outside the breach, the best spot is here because this is a much less common that they're going to pre-fire you. Or if it's not safe down there, what you might want to do is you might want to come on here, okay? You'll hear them if they're on the breach. You will hear it, I promise you. So always think with your positioning, think of your surroundings. Can you be seen? Can you be naded? Is it a common spot to get pre-fired? Think about all those things when you are in a position, whenever you are pushing up, whenever you are doing anything like that. Another thing, if you get a kill right here, do not sit in the same exact spot. You will probably get called out and pre-fired. I'm going to show you an example. All right, now real quick, I want to show you a great example of positioning real quick before we move on to the next tip. Okay, now watch this clip of mine. This was a video I just made, right? Kind of potato went to this kid, own that fraud, right? I run in, hide, make sure I can reload, make sure I'm not seen, quickly peek out. Now, look at this, okay? I know someone's to my left. Now, you guys didn't see this, but let me just show you, for example. In the beginning of this clip, I am here, and I get shot at here. So I know someone's behind me. So this is why I kind of start like zigzagging, trying to make sure I can't be seen from the back, right? And then I get back in here. I still know somebody's over here. Now you're going to see me run and crouch here. Now, positioning is going to be based off of your surroundings. Use your surroundings is the biggest thing. I kill this kid. Now I see him like right there for a second. Like I think, let me see. I can go back a little bit. But you're going to notice, you're going to see this guy, or at least I did, out of the corner of my eye. I see like this part right here. I see it move. So I know he's there. So now I'm using a bomb as cover. Positioning is going to be using your surroundings to the fullest, making sure I can reload in cover, and then swing up, and not swing out too much, but swing out enough to where only my head's exposed, and I can get the kill. That is positioning in a nutshell. Alright, now the next tip is going to be drones. Let me explain something to you real quick. Let's pretend like this is a prep phase, okay? Now, what I noticed a lot of people do is, right, let's say that the bomb site is downstairs. They will send their drone downstairs into the bomb site. What are you doing? What are you doing? You're trolling. That's what you're doing. I'll answer the question for you. Now, what you need to be doing is, right, let's say, for example, I know they're downstairs. I hear them, or let's say they just went upstairs and they're going to go downstairs, and, like, I hear them down there. I see them reinforcing, whatever it may be. In my eyes, I'll be like, okay, I'm going to go for a blue take. So what am I going to do? If I'm going to go for a blue take, I'm going to leave my drone up in little, like, secret room up here, right? By the stairs, and I'm going to sit it here. And I'm not going to waste my drone. What is this going to do? This will leave me with an extra drone later on if I have to, and I saved my drone. I now enter the round with 2 drones, and drones are the most important thing in this game. Alright, now this next tip I want to talk about is going to be confidence. Now, it's kind of a broad subject, but it's also like the same thing as playing aggressive. Now, what would confidence be? We are currently down 0-3. You would think the mental is chalked. You're like, we're going to lose this game. Nah. You see, I don't think like that. I play it just by round. And in this situation, you're going to see me play very aggressive, okay? Now, just watch. Okay? So, let me just slow this a little bit. So, I swing this kid, right? I'm playing very confident. I have a T5, and I have a 1.5 times scope on it, okay? So, what would I consider confidence and aggression? I would say just play in the enemy's face. They are not going to expect you to play super aggressive. Like, watch this. This guy has a gridlock here. You would think after you throw a gridlock, people are going to be careful for it, right? I shoot the drone. I reposition, because that's the biggest thing. He now knows where I am. I'm like, screw this guy. I'm going to swing him. He has his nade in his hand because he's trying to nade me, and I get the kill, and I kill him. Okay? So, playing aggressive and playing with confidence and believing in your shot is going to help you so much. The best way that I can give you this would be to warm up before you play, so that way mentally you have the confidence to take a gunfight and you're not afraid. Like, look, I'm still swinging this guy even though I just killed somebody else. I'm going to pre-fire him, and I'm going to just use all of my knowledge in this game to play aggressive and be in their face and play confident. I swing this guy and pre-fire him. Playing aggressive is going to improve your game a lot. Now, I'm not saying play stupid aggressive, but just be in their face. Don't be predictable. Be unpredictable. Like, the guy was not expecting me to swing him when he had gridlocks down and just drone me out. He would think I'd probably go run away. But instead, I was in his face, taking the gunfights. Just don't be afraid. Swing or be swung is my motto. I just be playing like an absolute savage sometimes and just try and catch people off guard. And it works for the most part. Alright, now the next in-game tip is going to be something called, or what I say, essentially playing off your team. Now, this is going to work whether you're solo queue or in a 5-stack. I'm going to show you a great example of in a 5-stack, right? So, let's say I'm playing Maverick here. The strat that I love to do for this is I Maverick off this wall, just enough to where you could see through it. And then I'll help my teammates push the back, right? Like, you see how my teammates are all in the back. Now, I'm telling them, like, hey, I'm going to go push the front, okay? So, what I do here is I allow my teammates to push the back while I get a pinch on the front. And as you see here, I'm able to kill the guy that's on pillar, and I'm able to watch blue hallway. Now, this is one way of playing off your team. Another big way, if you're solo queuing, what I love to do, I don't think I'm solo queuing in any of these clips, so I don't know if I could show you this. But essentially, what you would want to do is just push with your team. It's very, very simple. Or here's actually a good example of it, right? So this is on defense, but normally I would say on attack is where it would really make a difference, right? So here I'm playing off my team. My teammates are down. I'm gonna try and get the refrag. But that's the same thing on attack. If you are solo queuing and you're like, what the hell am I gonna do? Like, I'm solo queuing. I can't play with my team. What do you mean? Just follow them. Get their refrag. Push with them. If they're doing some stupid push, it is still better to push with your team than to go and solo queue push across the map for the proper push. Because you want to be able to get your teammates refrags, right? You want to be able to kill the people that get killed and trade. Trading is super important. So the biggest tip I have for you, whether you're on attack or defense, like look, for example, here, my teammate is down. I'm trying to get the kid that is going to try and finish him off. And what do? I get that kill. And then I continue to play off of him because people know he's down, so they're going to try and do it. But it's mainly an attack is what I'm showing you, is what I'm trying to say an example of. It would be like, just play off of your team on attack, because that's the hardest thing. Like defense, you could just sit in sight. But attack, push with your team, play off your team, and just literally playing off your team is going to help you so much. I promise you, because this game is so much different when you actually play it together. All right, now moving on to the last set of tips, which would be the outside game tips. Now, the first tip that I'm going to give you that will significantly help you improve outside the game, like I mean like insane amount. Like if you genuinely are serious about, like I know it's just a game, but if you are genuinely serious about getting better, the biggest thing is going to be to watch yourself play the game, okay? You want to see the mistakes that you are making. Now, I did a video on this where I broke down my own gameplay and went over everything that I was doing right and everything I was doing wrong. Now, what you can do either is you stream or do content, go back and watch your VOD. If you do not have that, you can't afford it, whatever the case is, there's no problem. You can use the match replay. Just go back. And this was a game that I did where I dropped 14 kills. I did very well. But that's the thing. You want to look at stuff that you do very well so you can repeat that. On top of that, you want to look at the stuff that you do very bad so you don't do that again. And this is the best way, okay? So, if, for example, if you watch yourself and you die to something, you could look at where the guy killed you. You could learn that angle, okay? That's one thing. And two, you can learn from your mistake. Hey, maybe next time I shouldn't just run in or think. Like, for example, I was in a 2v4 here. What did I learn from this? I told myself, okay, I need to be more aggressive on the roam. I sat here and waited in this room for a minute long, and my whole team was dead. Maybe if they're not pushing this side of the map, I need to learn to rotate quicker so that way I can help my team out. You gotta break down your gameplay and just try and understand it, and that will help you a significant amount, I promise you. Now, the final tip for this video is going to be another thing that helped me out a lot, genuinely. Like, I learned a lot. I do this for every game I play, okay? Whether it was Valorant, I got into Valorant a lot and Overwatch a lot, right? What I would do is I would go and I would watch people play the game, okay? Because mentally, this would put me in a spot where I would learn a lot. So, for example, this is a tip video, it's a highlight video that I posted, right, just recently. For me, you're going to learn a lot from this video. You're going to learn how I play, you're going to learn my positioning, you're going to learn the angles I hold, you're going to learn a lot. Now, you don't need to watch me. If you don't only want to watch me, there is a ton of very good players that I would recommend, okay? I even watch PC players, even if I'm on console, because being able to learn the angles and the positioning and the thing that they hold on defense or the way that they pre-fire stuff on attack has helped me so much. Just try and find people that kind of fit to your style. So if you like people who like, you know, who are on a slower sense, go watch people like Cheese Pie. Go watch people like Truman, even though he doesn't upload anymore. He still has a ton of old videos on there that you can learn from. If you like people with super high sense, watch people like Masa. If you want people like who have like a medium sense, watch people like me. Try and find people that fit to your narrative or people who are just insanely good at the game. Because if you can watch them and watch how they play and just see what they do in specific situations or certain angles they hold on certain maps, it will teach you so much. But hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. Hopefully this does help you guys. Once again, comment down below what tips you are struggling with or what you want to see. I will take it from this comment section and I will put it into another video. But I will see y'all. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Have an amazing day. Much love. You're all beautiful. Peace.